It's 2 a.m. The building is silent. No voices, no footsteps. Just darkness and my breath. I'm standing on cold stone, and for a second I don't understand why the floor feels warm. Then I look down. Blood. Not movie blood. Real blood. Dark, sticky, slowly pooling under my feet. My soles are split open from walking meditation, and the strangest part is, my mind is still yelling the same command like nothing happened. More, harder, don't stop. Here's the belief I used to worship, and maybe you've believed it too. If you force life hard enough, life will finally give you what you want. If you push more, if you hustle more, if you discipline yourself more, if you control everything harder, then someday you'll be safe. Someday, you'll be enough. But that night, forcing didn't make me strong. It just made me break. And when I finally looked up, I realized I wasn't alone in the dark. Someone was watching. Still, quiet, calm like a lake that doesn't care about storms. Let me take you back. People imagine spiritual practice as soft candlelight and perfect peace, but the place I was training wasn't glamorous. It was wood and stone and cold air that smelled like rain-soaked earth. At dawn, a bell sliced through the fog. At night, the silence felt so heavy it pressed on your chest. And in a place that quiet, you can't outrun yourself. Because what gets loud in silence isn't the world, it's your inner voice. And mine had become a tyrant. No one ever announced the rule out loud, but everyone felt it. An unwritten law that hangs over your life like a blade. If you're not progressing, you're failing. If you're failing, you're wasting your chance. And if you're wasting your chance, you don't deserve to be here. So we forced, we clenched, we strained. We treated peace like a door you could kick down. My version of that rule was brutal. Don't stop until your body gives up. And my ego loved it, because suffering felt like proof. Proof I was serious. Proof I was disciplined. Proof I was doing it right. But the body doesn't care about your pride. Blisters formed. Then they split. Sleep became thin. My chest felt like it was filled with stones. I started living like I was in a private war, against weakness, against doubt, against the part of me that just wanted to be okay. Then the moral knot tightened, because I began rehearsing my exit like a confession. I'm not cut out for this. I'll go home. I'll stop embarrassing myself. But home wasn't peaceful either. Home meant expectations. Home meant people saying, "See, you couldn't do it." And the worst part was, deep down I believed them. So I made a bargain with my own mind. The kind of bargain that ruins people slowly. One more day, one more night, one more push. If I could just force one breakthrough, I'd finally be safe from shame. That's how people lose years of their life, not in one explosion, but in 1,000 quiet promises. Just one more time. That night I didn't just practice, I attacked myself. I walked faster, I refused rest. I turned meditation into punishment. In my head, the inner tyrant wore a crown. If you slow down, you're weak. If you pause, you're a fraud. If you fail, you don't belong anywhere. And listen, real courage isn't no fear. Real courage is seeing fear and refusing to let it drive. But I wasn't courageous yet. I was cornered. And cornered people don't find wisdom, they find extremes. That's when the fight began, and it didn't come from outside. It came from my own mind. The pressure hit in strikes, each one worse than the last. First, comparison. Look how calm everyone else is. Second, shame. You're the only one struggling. Third, panic. You're running out of time. Fourth, perfection. If it's not flawless, it's worthless. Fifth, isolation. Don't tell anyone. They'll know you're broken. Sixth, self-violence disguised as discipline. Earn peace by suffering. Seventh, despair. Maybe peace isn't for you. And then the strike that nearly finished me, the one that sounds holy but is pure poison. Pride disguised as devotion. If you quit, you lose your identity. Suddenly, it wasn't about awakening at all. It was about winning. And when force didn't produce peace, my mind changed tactics. It stopped pushing my body and started manipulating my soul. It began issuing commands like a cruel master. Leave the hall. Come back. I obeyed. Then again, leave. Come back. And again, 3 times. Each time I obeyed, I felt a quick hit of relief, like, see, I'm still in control. But right after, the anxiety returned stronger. That's how manipulation works. It gives you a taste of control, so you'll keep playing. And all the while, my feet kept bleeding quietly, like a truth I didn't want to face. Then came the 4th command. Get up, push harder, prove it. And for the first time, I didn't move. Something in me finally answered, not angry, not dramatic, just clear. No. Right there, in the dark, I learned a line that saved my life. Right effort isn't force, it's tuning. I sat down. I felt the throbbing in my feet. I felt the storm in my chest. And instead of fighting it, I listened. For the first time, I told the truth. I'm suffering, and forcing is making it worse. That truth was a doorway, and the calm presence in the darkness finally stepped closer. He didn't scold me. He didn't praise me. He didn't make it about success or failure. He asked one question, simple, almost ordinary, but it landed like a bell inside my chest. Have you ever played a lute? He said. I blinked. Yes? He said, when the strings are too tight, what happens? They snap. And when they're too loose, they don't play. He looked at me, past my pride, past my shame, and said softly, your effort has been too tight. That's the middle way in one breath. Not laziness, not self-torture, balanced effort. In Buddhism, right effort means you cultivate what's wholesome without crushing yourself. You build the mind like you would build a life, steady, honest, patient, without hatred. Then he gave me a ladder I still use today, 5 rungs, simple enough to remember when the world is on fire. First, faith. Not blind belief, just enough trust to breathe and take the next step. Second, truthfulness. Stop lying to yourself about what hurts. Third, mindfulness. Notice the moment you start clenching. Fourth, effort. Take the next step without violence. And fifth, wisdom. Learn when to soften your grip. The lesson wasn't do nothing. It was stop forcing what can't be forced. Because peace doesn't respond to threats. Peace responds to understanding. And that's when the fight ended. Not with fireworks, not with a victory pose, with something far harder for pride. Tears. I wish I could tell you I instantly became peaceful. I didn't. First came grief. Grief for how violently I'd treated myself in the name of growth. Grief for every time I believed love had to be earned through pain. My hands shook, not from fear of punishment, but from the shock of being met with compassion. I cried, not because I was weak, but because I finally stopped pretending I was invincible. And in that moment, I saw the real enemy clearly. It wasn't my life. It wasn't my body. It wasn't the world. It was my craving to control life. Morning light revealed the cost. My feet were a mess. My body was exhausted. And my mind was addicted to intensity. The way some people are addicted to drama, to pressure, to proving. Redemption didn't erase that. It began with repair. Rest, without guilt. Walking slowly, without performance. Training like someone who actually wants to live. And I made one concrete vow. I will not turn my practice into self-harm. That's what don't force anything really means. It doesn't mean give up. It means stop making violence your strategy. Because you can't bully your way into peace. You can't intimidate your way into love. You can't control your way into freedom. You can only understand your way there. Now, how do you use this in real life when it's not a monastery and the pressure is your job, your relationship, your phone, your bank account, your family? Here are 3 practices you can try this week. First, the 10-second unclench. When you feel yourself forcing, jaw tight, shoulders up, breath shallow, pause for 10 seconds. Exhale longer than you inhale. And ask, am I tuning or snapping. Second, the two-question check, especially for relationships and work. Before you send the message, make the demand, chase the outcome. Ask, is this love or control? Is this effort or fear? Third, the fourth time boundary. If you've tried the same thing 3 times and it's making you smaller, the fourth time, do something radical. Stop. Sit. Tell the truth. Not to quit, but to choose a wiser direction. Here's your line to remember. The tighter you grip, the more life slips. If this hit you, comment 1 sentence. Where am I forcing? And if you want more Buddhist stories told like a movie, stories that don't just sound wise, but actually help you live, subscribe. Next episode, I'll tell you a story about the moment letting go saved a life. Not metaphorically, literally. Because sometimes, the thing you're forcing is the very thing blocking your peace.